Good.
The unit that we're going to be installing on the car is used by Palco. The reason we choose the Palco unit is it does have a lifetime warranty, and we can have this is a 1301 unit, and there is a difference. If you have a 70 through 78 Trans Am, the area between the dash bezel and the ashtray is going to be a larger size on 70 to 78. In 79 to 81, this area from here to here is a little smaller. So you want to be sure that you get something that is correct for your car. What we're going to do now, and one also thing I want to show too on this, is it does have the simulated stitch line, the correct simulated leather texture to it, and it does come grab bar delete. So if you don't like that Jesus bar on the passenger side of your dash, you don't have to put it in. If you do want it, we'll show you how to put it on in just a moment. Okay?
Go.
What we need to do, right before we do our test bed here, we're going to do a couple things. First, we're going to tilt down the tilt column. Second, we need to remove the ashtray. And you do that by just folding this little lip down, pulling it straight out. One other thing, and this is of note, but do you see this? This car at one point had an aftermarket alarm which someone had installed a little button. That's going to have to come out, obviously, because we need a nice clean surface. In order to do that, we can remove the ashtray liner just simply by unscrewing it. You have a screw here, and a screw all the way in the back of the unit.
Go.
This is just a test bit of the unit, so you can see it going into place on the car. What we'll have to do is lay our adhesive into place, and then also trim out for our dash grab bars. As you can see though, the unit literally slides into place. And all we do is bring it all the way across and in, and that's our test bit there. Now, what we're going to be doing, we're going to be adding the adhesive so that this sticks down real well. But as you can see, you don't have the dash grab bar, so if you never were a fan of it to begin with, you don't have to be now. So what we're going to do now, we're going to prep this up for paint, reset it to the color we want, and then we'll be installing it onto. What you're going to want to notice here, if you're resetting to a totally different color, aka if you were going to keep this black, is there are some areas around the dash bezel that you're going to need to redye to match. Now this comes just about to the dash bezel. It leaves about a 1/4 inch gap all the way along here, and then you have a gap up in here. The only real other area you're going to find that you're going to want to reset is going to be on the passenger side vent, and you can see that right here. It does come tight to it, but it doesn't come all the way, so you want to reset that into whatever color you'll be dyeing the dashboard.
Good.
We're going to be redying this dash cap today, and we'll also show you how to do some redying at home. In order to redye any plastics inside your Trans Am, you're going to need the following things. We use the SEM product line. It's the best coverage, doesn't fade, doesn't chip badly, and overall it just looks great, the finished product. For our parts, they were a factory dark maroon. We're going to be doing them in Firethorn red. It's a little brighter, wakes up the cabin a little better. So you need painter's tape, SEM low luster clear, your SEM color, and I always suggest having a good old gallon of some lacquer reducer, enamel reducer, even paint thinner works, just as long as it's automotive grade. Old clothes from yard sales make great shop rides. We're going to be redying these 3 pieces so that they match our dash cap, and then we're also going to be redying the dash cap itself. In just a moment here, we'll show you how the process is done. Well, now we have reset our holes on the passenger side for the dash grab bar, and it is just setting in place right now. But as you can see, we've redyed this dash cover to the correct color that we wanted, which in this case was Firethorn red. And while we were at it, we did the steering column just to make the colors the same all the way throughout. And you see we got that inner lip. So in a moment we'll be applying our adhesive and doing our final lay, and we will have this installed and put.
All the adhesive has been put on the dash now. And you want to put it in the obvious areas, the corners, edges, a lot around where the dash actually meets the cowl there. Right around all the edges. Inside of that little dash vent edge, underneath, around the glove box. And now we're going to put the dash.
We now have our dash cap installed onto the car. As you can see, we use tape to secure the bottom, which is not the easiest feat to do at times, and then a great trick is to use 4 rolls of paper towels across the very top. This puts direct pressure down onto the dash cap, pushing it down against the cowl. You want to do this because the pressure from pushing down on the windshield will make for a great bond. And as you see, we've reinstalled our dash grab bar onto the dash, and that also helps to secure the dash cap onto the dash and promote a proper bond. So what we'll be doing is we'll let this set overnight. Tomorrow morning we'll do a reassemble and the car will be ready to drive. We now have the cap installed and all of our trim back on. We're actually out at a local cruise night with the car. Notice how it does cut short at that corner by the vent, and what we've done is obviously reset that color to accent it, and it blends in much better that way. But instead of cracks, we now have a pretty looking dash on a pretty looking car.